I'm going to show you how to retrigger a Black Diamond Z4 cam. So this one, as you can see, the wire's fraying. It's not fully broken, but I'm going to catch it now before this breaks on me en route. Because then it's unusable for the rest of the route, and it could even get stuck because there's no trigger to retrieve it. So first you want to cut the wire on either end of the crimp on both of these. Then you want to bend this trigger straight so that you can push it through here, and you'll have to do some manipulating of moving the lobes so you can fit it through. And this can be cut pretty easily with the cutting jaws of a needle nose pliers. I've bent the trigger straight, and you can see the pinhead came out of the lobe, so I can pull it the rest of the way out. Now, one way I've seen people fix this is actually a cam I got that I'm going to redo, is with fishing line here. They make a loop, tie a knot on one end, and then the other end they just melt into there. That works, but it's not great because fishing line stretches over time and it can break, and then the knot or this melted end can pull through and you're left with the same scenario. My method is to do it with a continuous strand of welding wire. And this is nice because you don't have to fiddle around with crimps. Because a lot of the time when you're DIY crimping, you gotta order those parts specially, and after you're done, they can still slip through here. With a single strand of welding wire, it's not gonna slip through, and it's easier to time your lobes up. This is roughly 30 thousandths of an inch diameter welding wire, which matches almost exactly with this wire that goes up into the lobe hole up here. This wire actually came from a MIG welder, super cheap. I just pulled out about a foot of wire. It's probably enough to do 5 or 6 triggers. I made 2 Sharpie marks, each about 2 1/8 to 2 1/4 inches long. This is for a 7.5. Other cams might have a shorter length. But it's always better to cut a little longer because then you can always trim at the end. At the middle mark, roughly bent it into a V shape like so with needle nose. And now I'm going to feed it through the trigger bar. So I've fed it through. You can see I've got some excess to be able to start bending and hooking now. You do have to manipulate the trigger a little to fit this all the way through. You might run into this, so pull the trigger down and then you can feed this through. And with the cam all the way up at the stops, I'm going to make my 90-degree bend right here level with the hole that I'm feeding it through on each side. You'll have to rotate the lobe down a little to force these through, but it's not too bad. And then I've already trimmed off my excess here. You really want to leave about this much. There's the inner one. And then this is going to be folded inward so it can't come out. And it's a little tricky to get this to fold over, but if you squeeze just the right way on both ends with the tip of the needle nose, it'll crush right over. So that's it. I've got smooth action now. And you can see as I rotate, it's not interfering with anything. With only just needle nose pliers and some welding wire. Much cheaper and better than sending into Black Diamond for $15 to $20 plus shipping both ways. At the very end, I spray some automotive silicone spray on the lobes so it's not squeaky and it stays lubricated, and it's good to go.